Hey friends, it's Jasmine, and I hope that you all are doing well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I am a witchy content creator, and I talk about witchcraft here on YouTube. So if you're into that sort of thing, maybe check out some of my other videos. If you are a returning subscriber, it's really good to see you back. Thank you so much for coming back, and let's get into today's video.
Burn and brew with Coven, true and glorious shall be thine.
So recently, I received a package from Llwellyn, which is a fairly known publisher. If you aren't already familiar with Llwellyn, Google them. They publish a lot of really cool titles, and I was fortunate enough to receive a package from Llwellyn with some books that I am going to be reviewing here on my channel. I'm filming this now. It's like close to the end of February. I mention that because all of my videos go onto my Patreon first for early release. And I just got this package, so I actually haven't read any of these books yet. However, I wanted to kind of just like unbox them with you and show you guys the books that I got. I believe that these books are on their spring calendar. They might already be available, or they should be coming out this spring of 2025. I also want to say that while I was sent these books from Llwellyn, I'm not necessarily being paid to, sponsor or endorse or say anything specifically. So these are going to be my honest first impressions of these titles that I thought looked really good from their spring catalog. So the first book that I got in this package, which I'm really excited about because I've not seen anything like this on the market, is Queer Rites. And this is by Enfi. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Enfi's J. Book is the author, and there's a foreword by Ariana Serpentine. First of all, the cover of this book, chef's kiss. I just love it. I'm not familiar with the author, but I'm looking forward to get familiar. This is what the back of the book looks like, and I'm going to read you guys a little bit about this here. So again, this is from Llwellyn, and this says that it retails for about $17.99 US, which I feel like anything around like the $20 mark is fairly typical, average, pretty financially accessible for the most part, I would say. So first, I want to read about the author. So this says Enfi, they, them, is the author of Gold COVR, award-winning Queer Kabbalah, and the co-author of Sagittarius Witch. They have taught workshops around the world, and they host a podcast called Four Quick Cues, Book Talk with Enfis. Visit them at majораqueerna.com. So a little bit about the book. Embrace your personal power with 20 queer-specific rituals. Queer people go through all kinds of unique milestones and rites of passage as we grow into our true selves. Whether you are coming out, attending your first Pride parade, or changing your pronouns, this book will help you enter these rites of passage thoughtfully and spiritually. Explore rituals for honoring chosen family, going through gender transition milestones, exploring and affirming your gender and sexuality, entering your first queer relationship, and more. Enhance your rituals with a variety of magical allies, including deities and community ancestors, such as queer activists and leaders. Regardless of your skill level or spiritual tradition, Queer Rites makes it a simple way to connect your lived experience to your magical practice and commemorate occasions in a way that resonates with your unique and wonderful self. It also says here, includes a foreword by Ariana Serpentine, author of Sacred Gender, and rituals by guest writers Storm Fairywolf, Misha Magdalene, Brandon Weston, and Reverend Ron Padron. So again, I have not read this book at all. This is just purely first impressions, but I think that the cover is really, really pretty, and I think that the concept is honestly kind of revolutionary. I mean, I've read gay witchcraft, and I think that that is also a great book when it comes to kind of talking about the intersectionality between LGBTQ and craft. But I'm really excited about this as someone who also identifies as queer. I'm excited to be able to read this. And I also, just assuming, again, I've not read this, so this is just my first impressions, I'm thinking that this might have a bit of a broader scope. I feel like the label of queer is just kind of vaguely LGBTQ without necessarily specifying which letter of the alphabet gang mafia, if you will. I also think that queer can represent in between both, neither. I myself am an ordained minister, and I've done over a dozen weddings at this point. A lot of those weddings are for queer couples. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to kind of get something out of this book that I can bring into my ministerial practice. Same for also kind of being like a big sis in the trans world and sort of ministering to like the youth that are going through gender transitions. I'm looking forward to being able to read this and hopefully find some ways that I can be of better service to my local community. Overall, really, really excited about this. If you have read this book, please let me know what you think of it. I'll probably do a review on my channel once I get to this. I have a TBR list that's a mile long, as most witches I feel like probably should, okay? Because the first power, the first pillar of the Sphinx to know is to know thyself, to know thy craft. It is always good to continue your academic pursuits. I love me a good full bookshelf. And I did get a comment recently asking if I would do like a bookshelf tour. I'm more than happy to do that. I just need to find the time to like film it. I will say that my library here at the house is in my witchy room, or like my home office, even though my whole house is kind of like my witchy room. However, I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start needing more shelving to store my books, which I feel like is a good problem to have. So the next book here is called High Priest, Raymond Buckland, the father of American witchcraft. And this is by Jason Mankey, who I have read some works from and I follow on social media. Jason, if you're watching, hi, hello. I'm really excited about this as a witch who is an initiate of American traditional folkloric witchcraft, which I've talked about here on my channel. Check out the Red Thread Academy down below, linked below. I have also been to the Raymond Buckland Museum of Witchcraft now 2 times, 3 times, something like that. Our coven has taken pilgrimage to that museum, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. Raymond Buckland, of course, is a big fixture within American sort of witchcraft spheres. So I'm really excited to get into this because I feel like this is going to give me even more history into a tradition that I am an initiate of. So this is the back of the book here, and the back of the book has the publication date and the price, which this is saying that it will retail for $22.99 US. It's 364 pages and it's 6x9. There's some marketing and publicity information on here, and then there's some information about Jason Mankey, which if you don't know who Jason is, again, Google, but let me read you what it says here. Jason Mankey is a 3rd-degree Gardnerian high priest and helps run 2 witchcraft covens in the San Francisco Bay Area with his wife, Ari. He is a popular speaker at pagan and witchcraft events across North America and Great Britain, and has been recognized by his peers as an authority on the Horned God, Wiccan history, and occult influences in rock and roll. You can follow him on Instagram at @PanMankey. Jason is also the author of several books, including The Witch's Book of Spellcraft, The Horned God of the Witches, and Transformative Witchcraft. And I will say, I do believe I read his book, The Horned God of Witches, so I'll try to like put that in my to-do list of doing book reviews, because I really do love this. Like, I love doing book reviews, deck reviews, product reviews. I can never shut the hell up. And so yeah, this is kind of what I'm passionate about. So it's really cool to be able to be sent books for free for me to be able to talk about them, because I would be buying these books anyway and talking about them. Really excited about this. Again, I have not read these books yet. This is just purely my first impression. I think the cover is gorgeous. I'm looking at this as a way to understand the tradition that I'm initiated into's history even more, because Raymond Buckland absolutely was so influential. I think a lot of us can probably picture that big blue book. Okay, so maybe saving the best for last here, we have A Feral Church, and this is by Byron Ballard, a guided journey to find magic, kinship, and the goddess. I came across Byron, I think during the plague times of 2020, when they put out a witch's prayer for the dead, which I made a video about that also on my channel. You can find it if you're interested. I follow Byron on social media. Really, really cool person. Really excited to get into this book, A Feral Church. So the back of the book says that this book is going to retail for $18.99 US, which again, I feel like anything around that like $20 sort of margin is pretty consistently fair, accessible, typical, for like a pocket size sort of like witchy book. Let me read you what the back of the book says. Journey into the wilderness within and around you through a series of guided meditations that lead you from one solstice to another and back again. Byron Ballard empowers you to journey into the uncharted and feral lands of your imagination, where you will connect to the primal mother, the goddess. Ballard shows you how to leave your domesticated world and enter a place of wild worship and joy, a feral church unbound by dogma or liturgy. Your spiritual pilgrimage will take you to places familiar and unknown, both internal and external. Framed as one big path working, this book guides your journey with a new meditation, plus a section to reflect on what you discovered in every chapter. As you find your way to the goddess, you will step into the darkness, reconnect with ancestors and various spirits, and emerge ready to live your life to the fullest. Here's a little bit of information about Byron if you don't already know. Byron Ballard is a Western North Carolina native, teacher, folklorist, and writer, the author of Roots, Branches, and Spirits, and Small Magics. She also writes a regular column for Sage Woman magazine. Ballard has served as a featured speaker and teacher at several festivals and conferences, and she serves as a senior priestess and co-founder of the Mother Grove Goddess Temple and the Coalition of Earth Religions. She also podcasts about Appalachian folkways on Weird Mountain Gals, and you can find her at myvillagewitch.com. And I have not read this book. I'm really looking forward to get into it. It's kind of giving me spirit flight, witch flight sort of vibes, which is very much a big part of my practice. I wrote a few books on that myself. If you don't already know, you can check out my links down below. Llwellyn also sent me this for immediate release sort of marketing thing. Look at Byron, okay, queen. Also sent me a couple of like marketing pamphlets, brochures. I'm really excited about this one by Devin Hunter, which is the Bad Vibes Field Guide, a definitive handbook for psychics and the afflicted. So fun. We have Christopher Penczak's Temple of Witchcraft. I've heard about these books. I have a friend here locally who has, I think, the Inner and Outer Temple. So there's that. And then we also have The High Priest with Raymond Buckland. And then we have A Witch's Ally. This is one that I'm definitely interested in. I don't think it comes out until April, I think, by Dodie Graham McKay. A Witch's Ally, building a magical relationship with animal familiars and companions. Sounds really good. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, Llwellyn, for sending me this package. I wanted to go ahead and film this video with my first impressions. And then I will also probably film a review video talking about these books more in depth. Really appreciate the package. I love books anyway, and getting free books is even better. So I look forward to getting into these books. If you have read any of these books, please comment down below and let me know what you think of them. And yeah, I think until next time, blessed be, and I will see you all in hell. Bye.
Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Down, down, down the road, down the witch's road. Circle sewn with fate, unlock thy hidden